Recorded Books and One Click Digital present A Tree or a Person or a Wall, stories by Matt Bell. Narrated by Karen Chilton, Andrea Gallo, Andrew Garman, and T. Ryder Smith. Part 1. A Tree or a Person or a Wall. Narrated by Andrew Garman. Even before the man with rough hands brought the boy to the locked room, even then there was always already the albino ape sitting on the chair beside the nightstand, waiting for the man and the boy to come. Once inside the room, the man with rough hands carried the boy across the musty carpet and laid him upon the bed, where he told the boy he was not allowed to leave, that if he tried, there would be consequences. The man said, "I do not want to restrain you, but I do have a number of restraints available." He said, "I do not want to hurt you," and then he pointed to the ape. The ape picked a melon from a bowl on the nightstand and wrenched the fruit's rind open with its white-furred fists. While it licked the juice from its pale fingers, the man with rough hands said again, "I do not wish to hurt you," and then he left the locked room for the hallway beyond its door. After a while, the boy sat up on the bed. He tucked his scraped knees under his chin, wrapped his bruised arms around his legs, and then he stared at the ape. He stared at the ape, and the ape stared back. True to his word, the man with rough hands did not further hurt the boy, not in any of the ways the boy was afraid the man might. Everything the man with rough hands meant to do to the boy was done before they arrived in the locked room, and so when the man with rough hands did come, it was only to feed the boy and the albino ape, and then to watch. For the boy, the man with rough hands made cheese sandwiches and tomato soup. For the ape, he brought bowlfuls of melons, or else walnuts, both of which the ape devoured as if starving, as if it had been a long time since he had been fed. After the boy ate, he watched the ape and watched the ape and watched the ape. The boy watched the ape because it was better than watching the man with rough hands, who himself stood in the corner and scratched his arms and legs, and watched the boy eat, then watched the boy sit on the bed beside his plate, then watched the boy watching the ape. In this way, he was not just the man with rough hands, but also the man who watches. The boy saw that the man was both of these people, but still thought of him as the man with rough hands, because it was the man's hands that had brought him to the locked room, that had done whatever had been done to his head, which ached and also buzzed. The man watching didn't mean anything else to the boy. He was just watching, and what could that hurt? It was a nothing, an action shaped like a void, and so the man with rough hands never became the man who watches, even though there would be much more watching than there had ever been rough handling. There was something wrong with the boy's head that made him unable to remember as well as he wanted. After the bruises on his arms and the scrapes on his legs healed, he realized he no longer knew if there were other people outside the locked room who would miss him, or if it had always been him and the man with rough hands and the albino ape, always he and it. Sometimes, when the man with rough hands fed the boy very late in the day, after the setting of the sun, then the boy was surprised to see the man, because he had forgotten him too. The boy knew it was after dark because when the door to the locked room was opened, the boy could see the hallway past the door, and in that hallway there was a window through which it was sometimes light and sometimes not. Outside that window was something else, something seen from too far away or for too short a time for the boy to be sure of what it was. The boy did not know exactly, but he thought it was either a tree or a person or a wall. And although it could be all three, it was probably only one. The boy's bed was broken.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?